Hello, this is a Persepolis presentation by Max, Seth, and Luca.
Marjane Satrapi is the author of Persepolis, and so she was born in Rasht, Iran. She now lives in Paris, where she's a regular contributor to magazines and newspapers throughout the world, including the New Yorker and New York Times. She's the author of Embroideries, Chicken with Plums, and several children's books. Satrapi was both the writer and artist for Persepolis, which was published in 2000. She also co-directed the movie Persepolis that was released in 2007.
Um, Inspiration of writing Persepolis. Obviously, a lot of people did not. A lot of people did not know what was happening in Iran, or still what is happening in Iran, and she knew that there were a lot of misunderstandings and generalizations that people formed about her own country. So she wanted to write a book that she wanted to the book that people would want to read, would be interested to read, not as a history book, but still uh, get what was happening in Iran. So uh, so one of her quotes that she stated while doing an interview about why she wanted the inspiration of writing Persepolis was, "Please come on, I will tell you how it was." She was talking about the story of Iran becoming a dictatorship. She further also explained that some people might think that because a country is in a dictatorship, the people, the society in that country are all crazy and oppressed. But that's what she wanted to prove wrong. That's what she wanted people not to believe.
So her choice of genre, the very artistic grasp of Satrapi's graphic novel allows a creative license on the reader's behalf to visualize as abundantly as they choose. In this way, she sets herself apart from the hero narrative, such as large comic book superheroes like Superman and Batman, who are generally seen as the perfect human being and can do no wrong and just save people. Satrapi's portrayal of herself is clearly not as glory seeking, but instead simply as a person who experienced life and wishes to retell her story for the sake of those who have no voice. The specific genre that Satrapi uses is an autobiographical comic. The first book has many elements to it, being a history story, coming of age story, family drama, political story, and a memoir.
So the artistic techniques that Satrapi uses, while the more traditional art form of comic illustration focuses on vivid color, distinct character definition, and fine details such as Superman and Batman, as we already said, Satrapi chose instead to omit differentiation in her style in any no differentiation in her style in any way that was necessary to distinguish characters from one another. In clothing, as we can see in the pictures, they're in all black or all white. She avoids placing time, place, or individuality on any one person in her narrative illustration. As the graphic novel layout is even and appealing with no bleed panels, Satrapi usually avoids unnecessary adjectives and adverbs. The devices used in Persepolis help Satrapi add meaning to a desired message she would like to create. Such devices include the use of flashbacks, which is prominent throughout the book or the novel. Other devices include symbolism, syntax, and analogies, including many historical and religious allusions. The symbolisms are used throughout the two graphic novels. Examples include the magic carpet, which symbolizes joy, or the cigarettes here in this presentation, which symbolize adulthood, as in the last frame, she says, "With this first cigarette, I kissed childhood goodbye. Now I was grown up." The syntax shown in Persepolis is used to create different tones in her novel. And the analogy that is used, for example, when some Satrapi compares punk rock to the war, such the images on the right hand side of the presentation, um, that's the analogy she uses. The historical and religious allusions come into play when Satrapi alludes to events that happened in Iran while she was there, writing them in such a way that even a person who doesn't know Iran's history, they would understand it, as well as alluding to certain passages of the Quran. Next is what interview on the veil. Obviously, this book is set in Iran, and a lot of uh, there's a lot of stuff on the veil. She talks about how she viewed the veil and how other viewed the veil, and how this veil actually kind of changed the society she was in. So, uh, Marjane Satrapi's viewpoint on the veil is that she has nothing against the veil. She doesn't mind if women wear the veil or if they don't wear the veil. What she does mind, though, is that men or the government force women to wear the veil, and that is what stands against, because the veil is a religious thing and should not be forced upon a woman. Not only that, but she is also against governments forcing women not to wear the veil, like what's happening in um, French schools nowadays.
Yeah,
Uh,
all over France.
all over France, yes. So what is happening is that they're forcing girls aged between 15 and 16 to take off the veil during school hours. Um, and if they do not take off the veil, um, schools have the right to expel the students. This does not go well with Marjane Satrapi because, uh, in her own words, she says the fact is they're adolescents, and when you are an adolescent, if you're told you cannot do something, you will surely do it. So it could become a fashion, or worse, a symbol of rebellion, and that is exactly what's happening in France. These girls are wearing the veil as a rebellion against the French government, and she's sad about this because it's more of a religious thing than a rebellious attitude. So finally, in the book we have in the graphic novel that we have, uh, both Persepolis and Persepolis Two are in both in the novel. So, but there are some differences between these two graphic novels. Artistically, uh, the first Persepolis has a more childish drawings to it, with not such amount of detail. And when Satrapi was faced with this question, she just said because she was younger and still didn't know how to draw perfectly. Yet when she did get older, her drawings seemed to be better. And with that, the second book has more realistic and less childlike drawings, as the arms and legs look more realistic. But uh, this this is incorporates well with these books because on the first book, as there are childlike drawings, means that Marjane Satrapi was a child in this book, but the growing of age made the drawings seem more accurate and realistic, as in the real world mean as in the real world is coming. The mood and characteristics of Marjane Satrapi also changed from the first to the second book. In the first Persepolis, Satrapi is a child. She isn't responsible for anything. She's considering the world around her. She's still like trying to find her way, which is different from the second graphic novel. Satrapi is an adolescent with doubtful and uh, doubtful mentality and lack of self confidence. As because she changes from child to adult, she is not the victim in every situation anymore. Because now that she has to take responsibility for her actions. Um, so to conclude, this is the presentation of Persepolis and Marjane Satrapi. Thank you very much.